out of thin air, straight up in smoke. Where they went, maybe I'll never know. 2009, staring me in the mirror, and will I ever be happy again? I lost my way, I lost my soul, I lost too much weight, I lost all control. Some friends, I lost you, my dear. But when people ask, I just say I lost years, the lost years. Hiding behind tequila and cigarettes, wearing a smile of shame and regret, apologizing.
There she is.
Hi.
Stephanie Quayle. Look at you.
Hello.
One of the coolest and most interesting and most talented artists here in Nashville and in North America. So gracious to be back on the show, Stephanie. How are you?
What's going on?
Good. First time since 2021. Can you believe it?
That's crazy.
I know. And you look better than ever. Like, tell us how you're doing it.
I am wearing my Taylor Swift red lipstick today.
Unbelievable.
I am in the most interesting time of my career. It's new territory, which I think as artists, if we're not evolving, we get stagnant, we get boring. Can't ever have that happen. So this is, I'm stretched.
Yeah.
If I was made of, Play-Doh or stretchy, like clay, I'm just like, I'm
Right.
like.
So which of your 3-part planetary planets are you coming to us from? Montana, North Carolina, or Nashville, Stephanie?
Montana. I'm here in Montana. I'm working on a project right now up here that keeps me here for a few more weeks. And it's beautiful. I mean, it was snowing today. I'm seeing the elk, and then and I'm here with you. It's very cool.
Well, I appreciate that, Stephanie. And, it's like the year of Stephanie Quayle, or the past 8 months of Stephanie Quayle. I gotta tell my audience, there's the album On the Edge that came out late last year, and the short film of the same name that just got released that I watched. And you know what? You know what I was thinking, Stephanie? There are certain people, and I don't know why, you may not even know why. Why are some people better at adversity? Like, what I mean is, why does adversity knock some people down, maybe forever? Some other people like yourself, in the darkest of days, you have a resilience. You actually thrive off that pain. Why is that, Stephanie?
Gosh, that is I can't speak for anyone but myself. I would say my faith in my family. I think that's what has kept me alive, to be honest, over the course of my life. Growing up in Montana, we had a lot of really tough days, growing up on a farm, and, family dynamics with divorces and all that stuff. And I think I was just kind of born with that. I want everyone to be happy, and I want to find a way to make things right if they're wrong. And I think I've always been that way, but I think the couple things that I've really honed in on is even completely by myself. If that's all I have, at the end of the day, I'll be okay. And I think when we can get to that point where some of those, thoughts that we might have had, when you're young and you're scrappy and you're just trying so hard. I think that's a big change. It's you just stop trying and you just do the best you can do. And resiliency, man, I don't know. I just refuse. I refuse to give up.
Yeah.
And it's more because it's just my heart's desire. I think that if music wasn't a must, if I didn't feel that my purpose was on purpose, I'm sure I would have left the music business years ago. But when someone hears a song that I had anything to do with, if it was just singing it or if it was creating it, and it moves someone, their heart, their mind, what they're going through. That's like untouchable, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big part of what keeps me going.
There's a couple like beautiful things to unpack here. Like when you were younger, and like you said, there were divorces in your family. You grew up with these beautiful stepbrothers, step-siblings, stepsisters, this gigantic clan. What were some artists, some songs that, like kept you going when you were struggling like little Steph to just rattle your brain the way your music is causing others?
I mean, the Judds were a big, my mom played the Judds a lot. It was like the Judds and Joni Mitchell, it was like country music and then these super singer-songwriters. Gosh, little Steph, Willie Nelson, you name it. A lot of songwriters that my dad got me into were more of the like America and Fleetwood Mac and gosh, it's an endless amount of music, but Reba, talk about Reba and Trisha. I'm trying to think if there was a specific song. I really think of, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days, the Judd song.
Sure.
Grandpa, tell me about the good
Oh my God. That was,
it's just like,
yeah.
oh. So, but no, everything was inspiring, and now as I'm older, I get to go and really learn the artists and their stories and talk about resiliency. When you think of like Loretta Lynn, you think of her, she had such a lightness about her and her music was so deep and so intense when you break down the lyric, right?
Yeah.
Because the melody would be like, you ain't woman in love to take my man. When you like, you're like, oh, that's but when you hear and really think about and sink your teeth into the lyrics, it's like, whew, big stuff. Big totally. Big conversations can happen in 3 chords and the truth.
Yeah. And you did such a great job with the CMT Remembrance to Loretta last year. You were phenomenal, by the way. You're one of the people that you did such a great job speaking about what she meant to music. You did a killer job. So it sounds like music is part of what gets you through, resilience, and the other one is love. Being surrounded by, you have a wonderful father. You found love with a great guy that you found love with a great guy right now. Be accurate that it seems like love, you've always surrounded yourself with love and you've always put love at the center of your life, yeah?
I think that love and acceptance are so intertwined. And I think when we love ourselves and accept ourselves, that's when we can really love others. And yes, I grew up with tremendous love.
That's beautiful.
From my family. And when I met my husband, David, I was in such a different headspace. I didn't think I'd ever get married. I was sure.
You never thought you would love again, right?
No, I was exactly. I was like,
When you were, I think in your late 20s, you were in this really committed relationship. Great boyfriend, probably gonna get married, and he tragically passed in a plane accident. Yeah?
Well, there's a little more to that story that was really something that I've never been able to talk about publicly until this album, On the Edge. When he died in the plane crash, I was raising his daughter with him, and she was 12 at the time. And he crashed on a Wednesday, and Sunday, which was 5 days later, we had a public memorial service for him. And that's when I learned that I wasn't the only woman. So grief switched to betrayal very quickly. And I avoided grief and lived in that just heartbreak and how could I have missed this? And how did this happen to me? All the hows, right? But in that hurt and anger, it's a lot easier to just kind of just bite your way through it, versus like actually deal with the heart of the matter, which is, much more traumatic than I realized at the time. And so, I kind of put that away and I put it aside because I was protecting a young girl and that was her father. And I'm protective of this young woman that I essentially looked at as like my little girl. And so it wasn't till April of 21 where she said she was going to paint her way through her healing. And that really gave me permission and the courage to go, I'm going to borrow some courage from you. I'm going to do it too through my music. And I never thought that these songs would be public. I just knew I had to get it out of me. I think that when we make space for stuff that we've been holding on to, it frees our soul, right? It frees our mind. It creates space for other things. And so I'm just kind of in this new land of, okay, now it's been 14 years as of January 28th. And I've been able to truly forgive him, which is, you know, a big statement. And also forgive myself because I carried a lot of shame, a lot of, how did I miss this? You know, people would be very quick to judge me when they would hear this story, which also then kind of makes you go, I don't want to tell anyone. And so it's been a really special time of not only self-discovery, but to your earlier mention of love, just the power of love. And when, you know, when we can truly love ourselves, I think that's when we can truly give love. And my husband is so incredibly patient and so supportive. You know, he's been right here with me in the trenches going, you have to do this, because had you not gone through this, we would never have met. Right. And we have to share that story forward so it can be a positive message, even in, you know, a very dark time.
That's right. And, you know, as I'm talking to you, Steph, and past couple of days in research, this is the most important work you've done, because, you know, you have an amazing voice, you're an amazing lyricist, all that, you check all those boxes, but this album, On the Edge, Steph, this is like a timeless piece of art. This is something that 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, it's going to have an impact on people. This is like, goes deeper. This goes to the core values. This goes to like resilience, which seems to be the theme of this chat, and just making, you know, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, even in the darkest of times. This is a very powerful art form that you made, Steph.
Oh, that means so much that was your takeaway. And I hope you are very right about where it takes people and helps them through their healing. You know, the last song on the album, Only Good Will Come of This, those were the words, the first words out of my mom's mouth when she got to my side after that plane crash. And I just remember her looking at me with such confirmation and such an absolute, like, only good will come of this. And I'm thinking to myself, how can you be so sure? I mean, and that was right after the crash. And it, you know, we didn't even know all the details.
All the details, yet. Right.
Yeah. And she just, you know, moms can just say things that only moms can say. And
I know.
yeah, it's just like, man, she just, you know, is so right. And that song is such a blessing, because I think it's a reminder for us all in those difficult times and in those dark times, that if we kind of surround it with, okay, I don't know why I'm going through this. I don't know what if I'm supposed to learn something, or if, you know, whatever this is, only good will come of this. And I think when we do that, it puts our mindset in a state of like, no, only good is going to come of this.
Amazing, amazing stuff. You're amazing, and I could talk to you for 17 hours. So I'm gonna have to pick my questions here. We're gonna have to skim over the short movie. But did you have fun making the short movie? It's on YouTube.
Oh my gosh! Oh yes, it's so much. First of all, I mean, clearly, I love to be dramatic. So
I was gonna say, like, have you thought about being on camera more? Like, you know, maybe some dramatic roles.
I mean, it would be fun to get to do that as well. I think, you know, if it was a Western, then sign me up. I'd be all about it. It was really fun to create this project because, you know, I think it's such a big story that without like a full documentary or a full, you know, feature film, how do we truncate it and make it something that people can go, oh, that's what's going on here, and put all the pieces together.
It's perfect. I mean, this short attention span, like, you know, you get the theme of the album, and then you want to go listen to the album. So it's like the perfect thing, Steph. Steph, I think you're going to play a song for us, but let me ask you about Switzerland, because I find this part fascinating of the Stephanie Quayle life story, which is still developing. Yeah, Saga, and we're still in part 1 of 5, so stay tuned.
I love it. Love it.
But Steph, you know, when you were younger, you went to Switzerland. You lived there for kind of a year. And, you know, among your many adventures there was you opened a group there, and you barely even spoke French. Just walk us through like this crazy time? It seems like you had a blast, and just tell us a little bit about it.
It was completely magical and ridiculous. I mean, what are the chances that a kid from Montana ends up in Freiburg, Switzerland on a school exchange for a year and ends up in a Swiss-French band as the lead singer? It was just like, you can't make this up, but
it must have been a huge hit.
I mean, I think it was more because I was American than, being good, because I listened back to some of that stuff and I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? What was I writing? What was I thinking? And no, it was so special, and to come back with the language. I think languages are, such a beautiful way of communicating, and music is the ultimate language. So, now as I learn other languages, I was like, oh man, I wonder if one day I could sing in French and, dabble a little.
Have you been back?
I have been back. I got to go to my the town of Freiburg, and I got to see some old friends and just kind of walk the cobblestone streets again. And it took me right back. I mean, 16 years old, no social media, it was such a different time. So really all I had was my memory to capture the moments. And of course, my little camera.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Oh my God. Well, you are the best. Always a delight to talk to you. I don't know if you want to take us away with a song. Yes.
Okay. So I love this song because it's a little cheeky. And when we were writing the album here in Montana, I'm like looking at where we wrote the song right now. We wanted, as we were writing, like, okay, we need some up or down or uppers. Like everything can't be in the heavies, And that's what I love about country music is sometimes your head will be bopping and then you'll be like, oh wait, what did she just say? Or
yeah, then you're just crying to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, dang, that's a lot. So this one is one of those. And it also has some funny words in it and connotations that people can take away on their own because they're all intelligent people. And, growing up in Montana, the fact that we say trout and Yellowstone, meaning the river, I'm pretty proud of that.
Fantastic.
So this is called Charmed. I was closing up the shop when those blue eyes showed up. Should have kept my head down and turned off all the lights that night. But I'm a sucker for a real good story, and boy did he have one for me. I was hook, line, and sinker like a trout in the Yellowstone. Didn't know he was charming like a Cheshire cat, polyester cowboy hat, slick like oil, smooth talking like that, and an fake diamond rings like they're free drinks, just to pretending he's an LA king. He'll keep you in the dark. Yeah, even the best of hearts get charmed. I wish that I could say that was the end, but 4 years together almost did me in. Warning signs, red flags flying right in front of my eyes. Let him slide. So let me tell you girls that a guy wants to fly you around the world. It's too good to be true. Therein lies the truth. Let me remind you, if he's charming like a Cheshire cat, polyester cowboy hat, slick like oil, smooth talking like that, and an fake diamond rings like they're free drinks, just to pretending he's an LA king. He'll keep you in the dark. Yeah, even the best of hearts get charmed. There's a really great solo here. Imagine it. If your friends don't like him and your daddy don't like him, there's probably a reason why you shouldn't like him. If he's charming like a Cheshire cat, polyester cowboy hat, slick like oil, smooth talking like that, and an fake diamond rings like they're free drinks, just to pretending he's an LA king. He'll keep you in the dark.
Yeah, even the best of hearts. Yeah, he'll keep you in the dark. Yeah, even the best of hearts get charmed.
Stephanie Quayle, my chills of chills.
Oh my goodness. It was fun to play that song.
That is an amazing song, and thank you so much for playing it on the show. You are the best. You're the bee's knees, Stephanie.
You know what? We need to talk every day. I think I said this to you the last time because you always just are so uplifting.
No, next time you're in Nashville, we are moving everything. I don't care if the ghost of Elvis and Prince are playing at Third and Lindsley. We're moving it. We're going to see Stephanie Quayle.
We got to hang out. It'd be
Absolutely.
awesome.
Steph,
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Appreciate you.